Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You've heard it 1,000 times. It sounds like good advice. But here's the problem. It's literally impossible. And the way we use it today is built on a lie.
Welcome to Veritas Explore. We're not here to represent any religion or attack any religion, Party A or Party B. We're here for truth seekers.
We decode scripture, we decode culture, we decode news, and we always look for the third side, the truth beneath the noise.
I'm Gio. Now let's begin. Let's start with the origin.
The phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, first appeared in an 1834 American newspaper. It was used to mock a man who claimed he had invented a perpetual motion machine. The newspaper wrote sarcastically, "Probably Mr. Murphy has succeeded in handing himself over the Cumberland River or a barnyard fence by the straps of his boots." Notice the phrase was describing something absurd, something impossible, something no reasonable person would expect anyone to do. Throughout the 19th century, this is how the phrase was used. It appeared alongside other colorful metaphors for impossibility, like sitting in a wheelbarrow and trying to wheel yourself, or getting rich by taking money from one pocket and putting it in another. People understood you cannot lift yourself by your own bootstraps. It's physically impossible. So when did this change? Sometime around the early 20th century, the phrase began to shift. By the 1920s, it was being used to describe the American ideal of self-reliance, the belief that anyone can succeed through hard work alone. This shift was popularized by the Horatio Alger myth, the stories of poor boys who rose from rags to riches through pluck and determination. But here's what the myth leaves out. Most of those self-made men had help. They had mentors. They had access to education. They had safety nets. They had privilege they didn't acknowledge. The phrase went from "this is absurd" to "this is expected." And that expectation became a weapon. So what's the harm in a phrase? The harm is that it erases systemic barriers and blames individuals for their circumstances. When we tell someone to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, we are implying your failure is your fault. If you just worked harder, you'd succeed. But the research tells a different story. A 2009 study found that 77% of Americans believe wealth is often the result of hard work. But multiple studies have found that the main predictor of future wealth is not IQ or hard work, it's initial wealth. In other words, the biggest predictor of whether you'll be rich is whether you were born rich. Yet the bootstrap myth convinces us that poverty is a moral failure. This is not just untrue, it's cruel. There's a famous experiment that illustrates this perfectly. Researchers had people play Monopoly, but there was a twist. A coin toss determined who started with twice as much money. The result? The players who started with more money almost always won. But when asked why they won, they didn't mention the coin toss. They talked about their amazing Monopoly skills, their decisions, their strategies. Researcher Paul Piff explained, there are things that you benefit from that you did not contribute to. There are things that you benefit from that you did not build. You benefit from the roads that are built, from people that have helped you along the way, from the mentors that you accidentally found yourself in the same classroom with. The bootstrap myth is not just bad sociology, it's also, for people of faith, bad theology. Jesus taught the opposite of self-exaltation. In Luke 14:11, he said, "Everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted." The word exalt literally means to lift up. And as one theologian noted, you can lift others up, you cannot lift yourself up. So what's the third side truth about pull yourself up by your bootstraps? We need to look at both sides of the coin. Literalist view, anyone can succeed if they just work hard enough. Poverty is a choice. Dismissive view, hard work doesn't matter at all. Everything is determined by systems. The third side truth, hard work matters, individual effort matters, but no one succeeds alone. Every successful person has had help.
There's a beautiful Ghanaian proverb which says, wansum ene nipa, meaning a person is a person because of other people. This recognizes that our humanity is shared. We rise together or not at all. Instead of pull yourself up, what if we said, let me help you up?
Let's retire the lie. Let's embrace the truth. We need each other, and there is no shame in needing help. I'm Gio. This is Veritas Explore. Stay curious, stay humble, and always seek the third side.